You don't need everybody to understand your growth. You don't need everybody to understand what your assignment is. You don't need everybody to know and understand your decisions with life and money. Other people's validation is not required the older you get. Some people were only meant to travel with you for a season, not a lifetime. Guys, this is why life really begins after 40. This is the secret that nobody really talks about, right? There's like this strange shift that happens after age 40. You stop sort of chasing things you thought you needed, and you start really craving peace that money really can't buy. See, for most of my life, I believe that success meant having more, right? More money, more friends, more stuff, more followers, more proof that I was doing well, right? But somewhere along the line, I started to realize that the more I added in terms of stuff, really the heavier life got. After 40, 45, 50, life really stops being about accumulating stuff. And it starts being more about being in alignment with your purpose, in alignment with whatever your assignment is, your gifts or whatever they may be, and why you're here. You realize after age 40, really for me it was 45, 50, that you don't need everybody. You don't need everything, right? And you don't have to prove anything to anybody. See, so today I want to talk about how less can actually make you richer. And not just richer in terms of money financially, but richer in terms of peace, right? Mental health, richer in terms of purpose and freedom, right? Because when you stop carrying the things around with you that don't really matter in the big picture, you finally have space for what does matter in the big picture. And nobody told me this. The turning point for me was around 45 or 50, but for a lot of people it's 40 years old, right? There's this mental switch that sort of flips on as you get older, and you start thinking about meaning instead of momentum and always trying to go, right? Your 20s and 30s, cool. They were all about doing stuff, right? Building, hustling, all that, right? And all that's fine. That's cool. Fine and dandy, no big deal. It's a part of the process, right? You got to learn and mature and all that. But once you cross that 40, and like I say, for some of us, that 50, you start looking around and you start asking different questions, such as, what am I actually doing all this stuff for? And you stop trying to impress and you start trying to chill and rest a little bit, right? You start valuing that peace over possessions and stuff, right? As you get a little older. Now, listen, there's nothing at all wrong with having assets that appreciate in value. They go up in value. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with having assets at all. But I'm telling you, at some point, you start realizing simplicity from a lot of material is not a downgrade. Being frugal and having less stuff around you is not a downgrade. It's really an upgrade in the big scheme of things. Because peace is a kind of wealth too. There's all different types of wealth. It's not just money. There's wealth in health, time, peace, all the mental health, physical, right? There's all different types of wealth. When you can wake up without debt chasing you, or when you can wake up and not have a lot of chaos around you, the wrong people, you can wake up and not have the toxic people around you that used to be around you, draining you. That's freedom that money oftentimes can't buy. See, we were raised, at least people in my age group, we were raised in a world that told us accumulation of stuff equals achievement. That if you could just get more stuff, more toys, more electronic and gadgets, more cars, right? You were doing better than the next person and you were successful, right? But the truth is this, right? And this is, nobody really told me this, but the truth is this. Most people are owned by the little stuff that they own. Listen, I go to estate sales all the time. And when you go to an estate sale, you see something that was near and dear to somebody's heart sitting on the counter over there for $1 and everybody walking past it. That bowling trophy that you wanted so bad and you worked so hard for is sitting over there for 50 cents and don't nobody want it. See, every car payment, every subscription, every piece of stuff or furniture or material that you think is very important, it's really just noise, because in the big picture, when you're all said and done and gone, that stuff is not going to matter. What's going to matter is the things that are either bigger because they're appreciating in value and going up in value, can leave them for somebody else, or the things that you can't measure with money. Yeah, I don't mind you owning assets, things that appreciate, but I don't think you need to own a whole bunch of clothes, not a bunch of cars that lose value, not a bunch of shoes, right? You don't have to own a bunch of stuff, just random stuff. If you're going to own a bunch of stuff, at least own a bunch of stuff that's going up in value. You don't realize it in your 20s, but by the time you get to 40 and 50 years old, all that clutter, it has weight. That's why some of the most peaceful people I know are not the people who bought the most stuff. They're the people who learn to let most of the stuff go. They tend to be the most peaceful people that I know. Now, sometimes it's not stuff that clutters your life. Let's keep it real here, right? It's people that clutter your life, right? I want to be honest with you. I don't want to hurt any feelings right here, but some people are energy drainers. They serve no other purpose in your life but to pull on you and to pull from you and to zap you of your energy. They take your time, they take your focus, they can also take your peace of mind, and they can give you nothing but drama in return. If you know somebody like that, don't name names out loud, but let me know in the comments below if you know what I'm talking about. Guys, if this message is hitting home for you, it's because you're probably ready to take control of your money and your mindset. I teach this exact philosophy, how to simplify your finances and multiply your peace inside my 4 steps to maximize your money system. You can start right now. Just go to smartmoneybro.com and get started. Now, let's get back to the video. Now, when you get over 40, over 50, you sort of start realizing something that's powerful. And that is this: you don't need everybody to understand your growth. You don't need everybody to understand what your assignment is, right? You don't need everybody to know and understand your decisions with life and money. Other people's validation is not required the older you get. You just need to keep growing and doing what you do. Some people were only meant to travel with you for a season, not a lifetime, right? Some people, you need to drop them off in your teens. Some people you should have dropped off in your 20s. Some people you should have dropped off when you got married, and some people you have to drop off when you decide to build wealth and to stop tripping on stuff, right? When you stop tripping on materialism, you may lose some people, because when you start protecting your peace, some people, they're going to call it distance. Here's what they'll call it: you think you're better than us now, or who does she think she is, or oh, you're too good for us now, and you forgot where you came from. Like, this is the type of stuff you hear when you start pivoting and making changes, and you want to say build wealth and do something different with your money, but everybody else wants to still go do what they used to do. You got to drop some people off. What it really is, it's not you forgot about those people. It's just simply that you're going in a different direction. You know, it may be called discipline, because listen, your energy and your time, those are currencies too, right? So you have to spend your energy and spend your time wisely. After 40, after 50, time goes really, really fast. And the older you get, the more you realize you don't owe anybody access to your peace. Not family, not friends, not coworkers. If they can't grow with you, you can love them from a distance. And that's okay. That's called emotional wealth, right? Now let's talk about what to add back in once you start deleting some things, right? When you get over 40, 45, 50, you've got to move from just simply collecting stuff, things, small things, collecting things that feel good in the short term. You got to start building things that are going to feel good forever. So the question you got to ask yourself as you get older is, what are you producing? What have you created? What are you building? Or are you building anything? Or have you built anything? This is the stage of life where you start stacking assets that appreciate, like I said earlier. Let me break that down just a little bit, okay? I'm talking Right now, financial assets, your investments, your retirement, your real estate, your land, whatever you're investing in, it's time to make sure you're stacking those things. And also, don't forget about not just those assets, but mental assets, emotional assets, your wisdom, your discipline, your ability to say no, your physical assets like your health, your energy, your time, your peace, and relationship assets, right? So you're building things at this stage of life after age 40, but it's not that material stuff. That stuff that used to lose value the moment you buy it, right? You don't want to collect those things. You want to add back in the assets that are going to matter. Those are the things that grow in value as you grow. You can't keep trading peace for people and your time for toys and call it a good life. At some point, you've got to start building the future version of you, creating and developing and producing the future version of you. Because look, this is the truth. Age 60 is coming for all of us faster than you think. When you get over age 40, you watch how fast age 40 to age 60 gets here. And the question is, will your 60-year-old self be thanking you, or will your 60-year-old self be blaming you? Success, it used to mean proving something to other people when you were younger, when I was younger. Now it means protecting something, protecting your health, protecting your time, protecting your energy, protecting some of the larger appreciating assets that you accumulated. After 40, 50 years old, success becomes really quiet. It's not loud anymore. It's peace. It's consistency. It's confidence. It's being in control of your life, aspects of your life, and being able to make decisions and choices that you choose. And here's the real secret. When you know what's enough for you, stuff, you stop chasing. And that's when wealth becomes real. Less isn't lack. Less is really leverage if you rethink this thing. When you strip away what doesn't really matter, all the small material stuff that we accumulated over our lifetime, you finally begin to see what really does matter. You don't need more stuff. You need more purpose. You don't need everyone. You need the right ones. And you don't need to prove anything. You just need to live intentionally. If you're ready to build that kind of peace with your money and your mindset, check out my 4 Steps to Maximize Your Money course and my new book, Manage Your Way to Millions. They're the first 2 links in the description box below. If you got value from this video, smash that like button for me and share this video with your favorite people on the planet. Hey, the best person who's going to take care of the old you is the young you. Take care of people, but remember to take care of yourself because you're people too. Until the next video, peace.